During a global pandemic, that's potentially a huge plus, but also something that I need to call myself up on a fairly regular basis. Optimism in itself is great, but I'm the kind of optimist who, if someone's having a bad day, I'll tell them everything's going to be okay, everything's going to be fine, it'll be all right. My glass is constantly half full. Heck, I'm the guy who actually enjoys saying hello and good morning to people in the street. But there's something about a global pandemic that eats into us optimists. Don't get me wrong, I'm thrilled to now be able to see a few friends, get out in the fresh air, do about 65% of the things that I'd normally do. You sense my internal optimism there. But when you catch yourself thinking, have I got my mask? When did I last wash my hands? How close does this guy in front of me want to get to my sacred personal space? It can dampen your positive outlook. A week or so ago, I went to our local supermarket. It had been the usual supermarket jaunt, queue for a slightly longer period of time than usual, cruise around the aisles in silence as people avoid each other and try and get the job done as quickly as possible. I came out of the shop, removed my mask, and I was just about to move to my car when a lady passed on my left-hand side and said, "Good morning," and smiled. I was shocked. I was so shocked that I found myself having an internal dialogue about quite what was so shocking for a lady to say good morning to me. Back in February, this wouldn't have been so surprising. Heck, I would have got in there early with my own good morning. But now I had to double take. In the book of Mark, in the Bible, Jesus is having a chat with the religious folk of the day. And they're calling him up on the fact that his disciples don't wash their hands before eating their food. In the eyes of the religious lawmakers, this action makes Jesus' disciples unclean. After a spot of banter between the two parties, Jesus calls a crowd together and says, "It's not what goes into your body that pollutes you, but rather what comes out from your heart. The physical experiences that we go through are only a part of the fabric of our lives." If your heart is anything like mine, it started this lockdown period in full "who can I help and how, pow, pow, pow" mode. But as the weeks have gone by, I found my optimism being slowly worn down by the gloves, the masks, the daily news cycle of unprecedented contamination. Now, am I suggesting that you stop wearing your gloves? Stop washing your hands? Stop wearing a mask? Stop keeping your distance? No. But what I want to encourage us to wonder about is the way in which we're following Jesus now, compared with back when the world looked and felt a little bit rosier. When I sang that I wanted God to lead me where my trust is without borders, to walk upon the waters wherever you would call me, even through this. My wife and I are about to have a baby in the next week, and each day we verge between the excitement of welcoming a new arrival and the nervous anxiety of what we'll encounter in the hospital and how much I can physically be there with her. Welcoming a new arrival into the world causes you to question what kind of world you want to welcome that life into. What if there's something bigger going on right now? What if a byproduct of this virus drives you and I into ourselves, developing an us and them mentality, a clean and unclean divide that's subconsciously created when I wear these things or cross the street for protection? What if our fear of the physical is affecting our ability to see the spiritual? When I'm constantly assessing my own space to check that everyone around me has conformed to my own levels of hygiene, do I find myself in a position of judgment over my neighbour, looking down on someone who's just as displaced as I am, craving any degree of normality in these new situations we face every day? I can easily lose sight of the example that Jesus, the Son of God, sets when he walks among lepers and outcasts, unclean people who he treats with dignity and kindness because his home wasn't in the physical. With those thoughts, I have to accept that maybe the resurrected Jesus that I sang about at the beginning of the year is still bigger than my fear of what might happen tomorrow, even though that tomorrow shifts with every news cycle. So I pray that you'd be full of hope and expectation as you wander and wonder with this Jesus, and as we're reminded that his home wasn't purely in the physical, and neither is ours.